Hey everybody, yoga pop-up, chair yoga. We're out here in the garden and I will set up the phone and we'll get going in about 3 minutes, and feeling free to grab whatever you might think you need for a very easy chair flow. Anyway, we'll get going real soon. And welcome everyone to Chair Flow. I'll invite you to come to the front of your chair, palms on our thighs, relax shoulders tall through the crown. A slight tuck of the chin as we start to take our attention inward. And I'll invite you to start just by watching your breath as it flows in and as it flows out, arriving here on our yoga chair ready for a half-hour chair flow practice. From this place of just watching your breath, I'm going to invite you to shape your breath with a long, slow inhalation, matched by a long, slow exhalation. As we breathe in, finding a full body breath, from the air to the top of the chest, the base of the belly, filling up each side waist, filling up both front and back planes of your body. And as you breathe out, I'll encourage you to draw the low belly in and up to squeeze a little more air out, also providing structural support for our low back. Now I'll invite you to take the tip of the tongue to the hard palate just behind the teeth. Hard to see, hard to demonstrate. We're trying to keep that connection throughout the practice, keeping our jaws relaxed and connecting front and back planes of our bodies. And finally, with your lips closed, adding a slight smile to your face, opening up the front of your throat so your breath has lots of room to circulate, refresh, and revitalize. Keeping all this, I'll invite you to bring one hand to the side of the chair, other hand finds the far side of the thigh, Let an inhale grow your spine tall, and then finding a twist. Either looking forward, off to the side, or over your back shoulder, and holding for 2 or 3 long, slow breaths. Now letting an inhale bring you through center. Other hand finds other side of chair. Other hand finds other far side of thigh. Let an inhale grow your spine tall, and then finding your twist. Again, either looking forward, off to the side, or over your back shoulder. Now letting an inhale bring you through center. Grounding on down with a hand on the side of a chair, other hand high. I'll invite you to stretch that hand high as we lift near sits bone off of the chair, and then keep the hand where it is as you slide that sits bone back down. And then holding for 2 or 3 long, slow breaths as we find a little more space between those ribs. You might envision an accordion. Every time you breathe in, the accordion expands. Every time you breathe out, try to keep that sense of space between the ribs. Now letting an inhale bring you center, grounding on down on other side of chair, other hand high, leaning onto that sits bone, keeping the hand where it is as you slide the sits bone back down, and then holding as we breathe into those ribs. With every in-breath, finding a little more space. With every exhale, keeping that sense of space as we find more space in ourselves from the inside out. Now letting an inhale bring you center. Let's bring palms on our thighs, sitting up straight and tall. And let's envision a pencil circling on its point. So we're going to try to keep the ears, shoulders, and hips in one line. We're going to try to stay grounded through both sits bones. It's a very small circle as we connect with our center. Here's 2. Here comes 3. Here comes 4. Here comes 5. And here comes 6. Taking those circles the other way, and again, trying to keep everything in one line. Try not to shift the weight too much between the 2 sits bones. And again, you might envision a pencil circling on its point. The shaft of the pencil stays entirely intact. And 5. And 6. And back to center. So let's go circles first direction. This time let's let it be a little more loose, a little more languid as we shift the weight between the 2 sits bones as we circle for 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6. We'll take those circles the other way for 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and back to center. Feel free to do this along with me. Ears over shoulders, ears and shoulders over hips, ears, shoulders, hips over sits bones as we sit tall and breathe. Let's sneak in a breath exercise here. Let's do the alternating nostril breath. It's a way to balance left and right. We can close off left nostril with little finger and ring finger, right nostril with thumb, not both at the same time. And if that's too much, you could always just use an index finger and switch it from side to side. So the sun's still high in the sky, so let's work the sun side first, the right side. So we'll close off the left nostril, breathing in right. Closing right, breathing out left. Breathing in left. Closing left, breathing out right. Breathing in right. Closing right, breathing out left. Breathing in left. Closing left, breathing out right. Breathing in right. Closing right, breathing out left. Breathing in left. Closing left, breathing out right. Breathing in right. Closing right, breathing out left. Breathing in left. Closing left, breathing out right. One more time around, breathing in right. Closing right, breathing out left. Breathing in left. Closing left, breathing out right. And then bringing both hands onto our thighs for a long, smooth breath in through 2 nostrils. And a long, smooth breath out. And let's see what they say here. All right, awesome, awesome, awesome. Welcome, everyone that's watching. From here, let's work our shoulders a little bit. So this is an easy one, fun thing to do at your desk at any point. We can inhale the shoulders up to the ears, and then on the exhale, just let them drop. And let's do that a few times. A couple more times. One more time. And then just letting those shoulders be heavy on rib shelf. From here, let's work with our neck a little bit as we look up and down, up and down. We'll do 6, up and down. Halfway done, up and down, up and down. Last one, let's hold as we look up, feeling a nice stretch in the base of our throat. Breathing into that stretch. And now finding a tuck of the chin and holding that as we enjoy a nice stretch in the back of our neck. Now letting it inhale. Bring your head up. Again, feel free to do this with me. Ears over shoulders. Ears and shoulders over hips. Ears, shoulders, hips over sits bones as we sit tall and breathe. Let's work another neck exercise here. Let's pretend there's a tennis ball on one, not on the shoulder really, but kind of more in towards the neck. Tennis ball other side, and we take an ear to each shoulder. We want to think like we're going up and over those 2 tennis balls. So take a breath to sit tall, and then exhale to one shoulder, up and over that tennis ball. Inhaling through center, and finding that stretch the other way. And just back and forth, inhaling and then exhaling into the stretch. And let's do a couple more times each way. On this last one, we'll hold as we come up and over the tennis ball and hold for a long, smooth breath in. Long, smooth breath out. Inhaling through center, exhaling into the stretch, and then holding that extra breath, breath in, breath out, and then inhaling back center and sitting tall. So a lot of us hold tension in the shoulders and neck, most often because we're doing this all day or we're doing this much of the time. So another place that's very connected to these places is the jaw. So I'm going to ask you to release tension in the jaw. I know we're all at home. There's nobody watching here. So I want you just to move the jaw up and down. And we'll come center. We'll just take the jaw side to side. And then back to center, closing the mouth. So let's work a palming exercise. It feels super, super good, particularly if you've been looking at a screen for a long period of time. So I'm going to remove my glasses, put them in a safe place. If you're wearing glasses, make sure they're in a safe place. That can lead to undue anxiety if you're not quite sure where your glasses are. I've been there. So the idea is we're going to warm up our hands by rubbing the palms together, and we're going to place those warm palms on closed eyes. This feels really, really good. So we'll do 3 of these. So we warm up the palms, and then then we close the eyes and we place those warm palms on our eyes. And again, warming up those palms. And then close the eyes and just gently placing warm palms on eyes. And one more time, warming up those palms and then placing those warm palms on closed eyes. And then bringing hands back onto our thighs as we take a long, smooth breath in and a long, smooth breath out. I'm going to put my glasses on just so I can see the screen here. I'm going to suggest a nice massage for our face. So on this one, I have to take my hat off. And also, again, I can take my glasses off. And I'll let you take your hands just massaging the top of your skull. Lots of nerve endings up here. A lot of this whole tension in this place too. And then I'll invite you to bring your hands to your brow, just smoothing our brow. A lot of times when we get tense, we tend to furrow that brow, just trying to smooth those furrows out. I'm just doing little circular motions here. Now bringing those same fingers to our temples. Don't push too hard, but this should feel really good. People do this when they tend to have a headache, but even if you don't have a headache, this still is beneficial. And we're going to come back to those closed eyes, and we're just going to, again, just massaging our closed eyes. And then we're going to bring our fingers underneath the eyes, just trying to smooth that place out. Now our fingers come onto the cheekbones, just massaging at our cheekbones. And then we're going to drop down to that jaw again. There's that place where the jaw connects in. A lot of sensitivity, don't push too hard, but pushing the right amount should feel super, super good. My next one is one I like to do when I have an itchy nose, so just getting that nose. And then this next one looks a little bit silly as we bring our fingers into our ears and just massage our ears. Now our hands can come to the back of the head. And I'll invite you to take your thumbs to the occiput. And that's that little knob where the spine joins into the skull. This is a place we hold a lot of facial tension. So as you massage that occiput, notice if your cheeks soften, if your eye sockets deepen, if that brow smooths. I'll invite you to bring your hands to the back of your neck, just massaging that place. And then we can bring a hand onto each shoulder, just massaging those shoulders. And other hand finds other shoulder, just massaging that other shoulder. And let's focus on our wrists a little bit here. So I'll put my glasses on. I'll put my hat on just so I don't get too much of a sunburn. Some of us are working with less hair than others. I'm in the former camp. So anyway, so we're going to find a clasp of the fingers. We'll press the heels of the hands together and just circle our wrists. And then taking those wrist circles the other way. So just keep the fingers clasped. Let's bring hands to heart. And as another shoulder exercise here, we're going to pretend our left hand is an elevator and the right hand's a passenger. So the left hand does all the work as we send the elevator up, and then the elevator comes back down. So let the left hand do all the work here. Elevator up and down. We'll do 6. Elevator up and down. Elevator up and down. We got 2 more to go. Elevator up and down. Elevator up and down. Now we're going to switch the clasp of the fingers. Now the right hand's the elevator, left hand's the passenger. As we take the elevator up and down. Elevator up and down. Elevator up and down. Halfway done. Elevator up and down. Last two. Elevator up and down. Last one. Elevator up and down. Keeping this clasp of the fingers, let's connect the forearms and circle those wrists. And then taking those forearm wrist circles the other way. And then back to center, releasing the clasp of the fingers, two palms on our thighs. So even though we haven't been working super hard, maybe we've generated a little heat, let's sneak in another breath exercise. It's a Sitali breath. If you can curl the tongue, awesome. I think 70% can, 30% can't. I'm one of the 70%. Whatever. It's a fun group to be in. Having said that, if you can't curl your tongue, there's probably lots of other great things you do. So one of the few yoga breaths where we breathe in through the mouth. So if you can curl the tongue, you'll curl the tongue. You'll also make an O with your lips. And the idea is like we're sucking the air in through a straw, which will have a cooling effect on our body. When we breathe out, we close the lips, we uncurl the tongue, and breathe out through the nose. So palms on our thighs, and I'll mimic with my fingers. You don't have to mimic. As we make an O with the mouth, we curl the tongue as we breathe in, and then closing the lips, breathing out through the nose. Sitali breath in as we make an O with the lips and curl the tongue if you can. Closing the lips, breathing out through the nose. We'll do 6, that was 2. Sitali breath in. Closing the lips, breathing out through the nose. 3 more to go. Sitali breath in. Closing the lips, breathing out through the nose. Last 2. Sitali breath in. Closing the lips, breathing out through the nose. Last one. Sitali breath in. Closing the lips, breathing out through the nose. And then a long, smooth breath in through both nostrils. And a long, smooth breath out. From here, let's come back to those bigger circles as we rock from sits bone to sits bone, keeping it loose, keeping it liquid for 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. We'll take it the other way for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Back to center and sitting up tall. Again, feel free to do this with me. Ears over shoulders, ears and shoulders over hips, ears, shoulders, hips over sits bones as we sit tall. And breathe. From here, let's come back to our hands and fingers. I'll invite you to play the piano. Either keeping the torso relatively still or adding a little twist to the torso as we go from side to side. And we'll do one more each way. And then back to center. Let's bring our hands in front, the palms face front. Let's bring the thumb inside and then thumb outside. And just back and forth, in and out. We'll do 6, in and out. 3 more to go, in and out, in and out. Last one, we'll bring the thumb in, we'll hold as we go a little bit further, feel the stretch. Bringing the thumb out, holding that, taking it a little further as we feel the stretch. And then back to center. From here, let's massage our fingers. So we can start with that thumb. It's working up to the tip of the thumb. Index finger, we work it on up. Ring finger, we work it on up. Ring finger, or I think that's, yeah, ring finger, work it on up. And now the little finger as we ring it up. I think I called the FU finger the ring finger the first time. Other hand, we get that thumb. We got the pointer. We got that naughty finger. We got the ring finger. We got the little finger. And then give it a shake. And another great place to massage in your hands is where everything connects. It's an acupressure point. So just taking your thumb, really just get in there. It feels so good. You might go hard, you might go soft. Go the right amount for you. And then we'll take other thumb in that other place where all the fingers connect. And then palms on our thighs. So we take a big breath in. Long, smooth breath out. Now let's find our bird beak hands. So 4 fingers connect on the top of the thumb, both sides. We can bring those bird beaks onto our shoulders. If they don't quite get there, some of us a little tighter, you can just hover. And we'll lean a little bit forward, and we'll roll one shoulder front, and then the other. And we'll do 6. Here's 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. We'll take it the other way for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and back down. We're going to get a little crazy with our chair right now. So I'm going to ask you guys to stand up. I have a chair like this. I'm going to turn it like that, and then I'm going to sit on it. So I got the top of the chair here. And we're going to do a twist, but we can use the back of the chair when we sit sideways in the chair to find a little more traction here. So one hand finds the chair back, other hand finds the thigh, and we can push into the chair back. We can pull against that thigh as we sit up a little straighter, breathing in, and then breathing out. We find a twist, and we'll hold it for 2 or 3 breaths. Let your inhales grow your spine tall, and then on the exhale you find a little more twist. Now letting an inhale bring you center. We'll find that twist the other way, so we have to switch our chair the other way. So I'm going to stand up. I'm going to take my chair, putting it on the other side so the chair back's, see if you can see that chair back. It's right there. So hand finds the chair back, hand finds the thigh. Let an inhale grow your spine tall, and we can use the chair back to traction ourselves a little deeper into the twist. Breathing in, sitting up tall. Breathing out, exhaling and finding more twist. And holding it for 2 or 3 breaths. Now letting an inhale bring you through center. And let's normalize our chair. But again, we want to try to minimize our use of a chair back. And anytime we sit in a chair, generally when we sit in a chair and we use that chair back, we tend to slump in there. And it's okay if you're tired, but if we do that all the time, then we start to weaken our back muscles. And back muscles keep the spine erect. The health of the spine is the health of the body. So we're on the edge of our chair. And again, let's just do those bigger circles for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. We'll take it the other way for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and back to center. So just sit tall and breathe for a sec. I left my watch upstairs. Let me just do a time check here. I'm going to end with a little meditation here. So we're on the edge of our chair. We're sitting up straight and tall. I'll invite you to close your eyes, a slight tuck of the chin, and let's just sit for about a minute or two. Any thoughts that come by, just watching them like you might watch clouds in the sky. Not trying to push the clouds away, which is obviously impossible. very difficult with our thoughts. But almost like letting ripples in a pond soften. You don't soften the ripples in a pond by using your hand to smooth the water, you just wait. So just waiting, breathing, watching our thoughts, watching our breath. Notice the breeze as it brushes against your skin. If you're inside, maybe there's a fan, maybe there's ventilation. Notice the position of your tongue in your mouth. No rights, no wrong. And another 5 or 10 breaths here. And I'll invite you to slowly open your eyes. I'll invite you to bring your hands to your heart. A light press of your thumb against your sternum as we line up each finger. Keeping those shoulders relaxed, a slight tuck of the chin. Coming back to a place of just watching as your breath flows in and out. Now I'll invite you to take 5 fingers of one hand onto the side of the chair. The palm of the other hand rests on a thigh, the palm faces up. So we're connected to our foundation, our chair. We're connected to the sky. We're between the two places, which is our condition as human beings on this earth. And again, just watching as your breath flows in and out. And then one more time, bringing your hands to your heart. I'll invite you to bow as you thank yourself for practicing chair flow. And as we offer our practice out to each other and to the world, the light within me honors and respects the light within you. And in this light, we are one. Namaste. Thank you all for practicing with me, and we'll see you all real soon.